Okay, hi everybody. My name is Sabrielle and I am one of the peer mentors within DBS. This is going to be our first podcast that we're doing, and this podcast is going to be introducing us as members of the peer mentor program, what course we're in, and we're just going to be giving general tips for your first year in college. So hopefully you all find this interesting. But like I said, my name is Sabrielle Svoboda. I am a peer mentor for psychology students, and I am in my third year of psychology. So that means I'm in my final year, but I was a peer mentor last year and I really enjoyed it. And I'm hoping that all of you enjoy your first year in college. And now I'm gonna have Karina introduce herself and we'll go on from there.
Hi guys, I'm Karina. I'm the peer mentor officer this year, which means I'm also on the SU education team. And I'm responsible for the peer mentor program. As you can probably see, I'm also studying psychology, but I'm in second year, and yeah.
Hi guys, so I am Aglabi, you can call me Aggie. I am PM of business, like right now studying my third year of project management.
Hello, everybody. My name is Adrian. I'm a part-time psychology student. I'm in my last year, that being the fourth. And it's a pleasure to be here with you all.
Hi, my name is Godwin. Delighted to welcome the new student to DBS this year. I am a peer mentor for social science. I am in the fourth year, part-time. As part of my role also on the class rep for the small group. So hoping to see you someday, and good luck.
Hi everyone, my name is Afsha and I'm the peer mentor for the postgraduate program. I am a full-time MBA student and my stream is HR, and I welcome all you guys to your first year. This is just a one-year program, unfortunately, MBA, so this is my first year. Yeah, it's been good, and all the best to all of you. And we're here to help and support you guys in whatever way we can. So, yeah.
Okay, so it's important for us as students to give our experience of what happened when we entered college in first year, because we can relate to a lot of issues that you might have coming into first year, because we've all been there before. So I'm gonna open this discussion so everybody can turn their mics off if they want to. I found in first year, I didn't know anybody coming into DBS except for maybe one or two people that I wasn't particularly close with. But I found that if I was taking parts in clubs and societies, or even surf trips that were happening, anything outside of the college, I felt that I was able to get more involved with the whole college atmosphere, meeting new people, if I really threw myself into the deep end, even if I don't know people who are doing these things. I found that to be a lot of fun and very helpful. But I don't know if any of you have had experiences like that or can say anything about that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I'm not from Ireland, so I actually came here 1 week before the academic year started, and I didn't know anyone in this whole country. So I was a bit nervous because you don't know anybody. You're new to college, you're new to country, and like I also English isn't my first language, so everything was new, and you're kind of nervous and excited at the same time. So what helped me, especially last year, because we were all online, so we didn't actually meet our class in person, and most of the students had their cameras off. So it was difficult to get to know people. That's why like I tried to have my camera on for like as much as I could, and also try to interact in the lectures, but also go to the events and talk to students and have your camera on, just be engaged in the college experience, and you will definitely meet other students and other people who don't know anybody, and then you will talk to them, so you won't be alone if you like put yourself out there, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know if the rest of you have had experiences like that as well.
I started in April, and thankfully it was a hybrid. It still is. The first 2 weeks was just an online thing, and I was not too comfortable with that because I like meeting people and interacting with people. And like Karina, we had the same issue where people did not have their camera on. They still don't have their camera on, and I would just want to tell people who have decided to do this online thing. It's important to have your camera on because it's important to see each other and to also interact and ask questions and be active during the lecture, because I think a lot of them are just quiet. Even when the lecturers would ask a question, people don't really want to answer, and I think that takes away from the entire experience, and also from gaining knowledge standpoint, because if you're not going to ask questions, you won't really get answers. And and people who are in class as well. I remember the first day when I went to class, no one was talking to each other. They were just like sitting quiet, and I'm like, what just happened here? So I decided that, and I'm also not from here, so it is a daunting task. I know when you come from another country and you don't know what to do and things like that. But I guess just at least just talk to the person sitting next to you, if nothing else. The people sitting next to you, when you don't talk to them, at least you could just smile and say hi and just start from there. I think that's so important.
Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree.
And also, sorry, if I can just add one thing, having your camera on during your lectures also helps you to focus, because if you have your camera off, you're more likely to use your phone or do anything else, because nobody can see you.
Yeah.
So have your camera on if possible.
Definitely.
Yeah, and at least you feel that you're in class then when your camera is on, that you're part of something. And if your camera is off, yeah, I tried that once and I don't think I paid attention at all. I was on my phone throughout because it was just like, yeah, no one's really watching me, or no one can really see what I'm doing, kind of thing. So yeah.
Yeah, and you can also hide yourself if you're uncomfortable with seeing yourself during the lecture.
Yeah, that was something that helped me. I actually, because it was weird to look at myself all the time, I was just like, I don't want to look at me. So I just hide myself, and I just forgot that my face was there, so it was easier. I knew that was open, but I was actually paying attention, looking at the screen. That helps a lot.
I just want to add something to what Karina said. I don't think there's any original Irish in this group, but regardless of that, what I've noticed when I started doing my course in 2018, it was no online program there. Then there's a way in which people polarize and divide. In groups, usually the native Irish are going to stick with them, and the foreigners with foreigners, extroverts with introverts is going to be, people are going to separate in their own merry way. It's good to try to break that barrier a little bit and try to mingle, because there's so much to learn from other people's experiences, educational system and all that. So even if natively, implicitly, you want to stick with the birds of your own feather, it's better to try to break those barriers and make friends. It's very important. With the online thing, Agi said something amazing. We can use the camera to try to correct our body posture a little bit. Try to make it can help you make yourself more confident, even if you're following, a little bit of smile, control your eyebrows a little bit. It's going to be much better in a presentation. And I know it hurts for a lot of people to go online and publicly speaking and all that thing, but do it once, see how it goes. Do it twice, and then you're going to see it's going to be much better. A few tips, yes.
Yeah. And
I think yeah, you can go ahead like that before.
It was just really short about my first year. I think I had a college experience before coming to Ireland, before studying here, and coming from another country, the college experience completely different. So when I started college here, I was going the same way I was doing before. That is just like working as much as I could and like coming to college, just studying and leaving and not actually getting to know people. And I realized that when I joined the photography society, I was just like, I don't actually know people except from people who are in my class. I was just like, okay, I am in a new country. I have this amazing experience of being in a college that give these spaces for us, like to, to get to know people. And it's a different culture. So I have to enjoy this as much as I can. So I think this was like the switch point for me. I was just like, no, I have to be more participative. Well, COVID happened, it was a little bit harder after, but like before it was actually possible to be part of things like in a better way. And I think now we can again. So I have a feeling if you're starting out, enjoy as much as you can, get to know people from another country, get to know this culture that is different for yours, enjoy. This is like so valuable. Like for your life, I'm not even talking about jobs or anything like this, like your own life. I think that's the best part.
Yeah, and I also don't think that COVID in this sense is necessarily the worst thing for like shy people, because I was very shy before I started college, and like I barely talked in class in school, but because of COVID and everything was online, I could just participate like through the chat function and just send the lecturer private messages, but I was still participating in class, which like helped me to focus on what's going on. So I think that's a positive to the whole situation and being online. So what I'm trying to say is, even if you're shy, you can just like participate for yourself, kind of, or even maybe you're not shy when you're online. For example, on WhatsApp, like some people are comfortable like speaking in the or talk or like sending messages into the WhatsApp group chat the whole time, but wouldn't be comfortable speaking in front of a group of people in person. So like just try to put yourself out there in a way that makes you feel comfortable or allows you to feel comfortable.
There's a certain, sorry to interrupt. There's a certain pattern that DBS observed. I don't think I'm deconspiring any secret. So the full timers text more as interaction in class in regard to part timers. So this can be an age difference because the full timers are very young. And for example, I think I'm the oldest bird in this group. I'm 43. Okay, so we like to talk. Sometimes it's very hard to stop. So the young people used to text a lot. So that's why it's very important to break the ice and try to speak, because COVID and all this kind of thing is going to stop at some point. So it's very important to create skills.
Yeah, exactly. But what I mean is, for example, for me, I became class rep, but I would never be class rep if it wasn't like, if our first year wasn't in line. So it kind of gave me the chance to become a class rep and get more comfortable with actually speaking to people in person and not just texting. So now I'm more comfortable to talking to people in person than I was before. So it kind of gave me the chance. So what I'm trying to say to first year students is like, use the chance, and then you will feel more comfortable once you don't have the chance anymore.
I'm pretty sure this hybrid system is going to stick forever from now on, because there's going to be a lot of people willing to go online. So I think they're going to keep both systems. So yeah, in fairness, they're going to help both parts of the people,
Yeah, I think what Karina is also trying to say, and what Adrian, both of you are, I think just find your balance, find what works for you, whatever it is, whether it is you want to chat with people or, but yeah, I like what you said, Karina, about if you're too, nervous to ask questions, you can always send a chat, but communicate. There has to be some sort of communication during your lectures. If you don't want everyone to see what's happening, you can also send a private, question to your lecturer, and they could probably answer that. But I think everyone should try and identify what they're comfortable with, what works for them, and the communication is the key here. Communicate things, talk. It would really help. And what we said earlier, I think most of us here have come from other countries. So it's a beautiful learning experience when you come to a different country and when you learn different cultures. I think it helps you grow and develop as a person more so. So I think we should soak in that experience. Yes, we all want to fall back in our groups and because it feels comfortable. But I think it's also important that since you've decided to come to another country to do this, you might as well expose yourself to the different cultures that are there, and then just grow and develop as an individual more so. Yeah.
I wanted to add that in 2018, when I joined DBS, I missed the induction, right? Because I had the admission in another college. So I spent 2 weeks with them, and the model was different than what I wanted. So luckily enough, I still have this space open for me in DBS. So when I come in, the induction was long gone. And when I come in, I felt so alone. I didn't have the services that we had now, the peer mentor services and student services. I wasn't involved at all, you know. And as a college, as DBS, for instance, we should all feel like one big family, isn't it? Like supporting each other. So I felt very kind of myself. And you could imagine after 2 years, I become class rep, again, and now I'm mental services. And this must be because I engage myself, isn't it? And this is the advice I will say to the folks here, that some of them might miss induction. I mean, some people doesn't travel, it was online, it was hybrid. So the services that is open here will help a lot. And then they will feel, as my experience is, part of the process and be engaged, you know?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I feel like DBS has a great community and everybody's welcome and everybody's really nice to each other. So you just have to allow people to help you kind of, or like avail of the services that are provided. And there are lots of different services like events, but also library classes and like basically everything you could need help with.
Yeah, it takes a couple of hours, even if it's a little bit difficult when you change a platform like like Moodle, like as an interface with the college. So for the first years, it takes a little bit of patience to understand how the system works and where you can get help. So just go on the webpage, go step by step, try to open the windows, try to read. I know it's a pain to read, it's going to take a few hours, but at least, you know, break it down in bits so you can absorb information, take notes, make post-it on the wall, you know, make whatever works, you know, bookmark pages on your internet web browser. And so when you're going to discover that half of your problems can be solved just by clicking here and there. And then if you don't know, ask. Have somebody that you can contact. If you can contact student services, or you can contact us as peer mentors, or you can contact your friends or your class rep or your teachers. Just do not try to survive. Like for me, it was a very cold experience in the first years because I had no idea about the peer mentors. It was a glitch with my admission. They moved me from here to there, so it took a month. So in that month, I missed probably all the interesting things. So I had to do it by myself. So it was hard. So take time, learn Moodle, learn the website, the faculty webpage. So it's going to be much easier. You see, first year is going to be always, you know, change. Change sometimes can be scary, but patience, a little bit of click here and there. Ask a lot of questions. And again, the questions, regardless if it's in a written form or if it's in a verb, if it's iterated, do not be. The first rule of order is there is no stupid questions. Even if they sound sometimes childish, doesn't matter. Like, we cannot categorize what other people think, how the understanding of other people. Everybody has their own limit, their own way of perceiving reality. So ask questions. You're going to get answers. Other people are going to learn from your experience.
Yeah, true that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting the fact that we touched on most of us are not from Ireland. A lot of us are from other places in the world. And I remember last year when I was part of the peer mentor program, there were a lot of first year students coming to us with problems about feeling homesick or feeling out of place. And I was wondering if any of you would be able to have any advice for students who might be feeling that way this year coming into the college, because that's a very big thing that pops up with first years from out of the country.
I think they should just just talk it out. Talk to whoever you can about what you're feeling. We all are going through that. We're all in the same boat. Eventually you'll realize that everyone is in the same boat, and we're all going through it together. So might as well just speak it out and talk to people. I think that's the only advice that I can think of.
I think also that first year students, they have certain expectation to college. I don't have statistics to this, but I will assume that educational purpose is probably half of it, and experiences is half of it, like what they want to do in the evening, socialization. So football for me is a very big thing. And like I always said, I support Arsenal. And the other day, Dublin Business School, we went football together in around Drumcondra area. It was overwhelming to see how many people turn up. We couldn't even get a two pitch for the people that turns up. Lots of people. We play like 6 teams. It was interesting. I mean, things like this, the first year can always engage in everything that the college provides. And some of them are free. I mean, you just have to ask what it is. I mean, find what you love doing. Of course, education has to be the priority, but then find what you love doing and then ask what it is that how you can always engage in these services. This will help. And then you develop friends along the way. You go drink beer after that. I mean, you go watch movie after that. Those are things to do. And of course, you cannot always account for the cultural difficulties like language, like places to go, like as you said, it's a real homesick issue. People have certain attachment to where they come from, but you cannot always provide that. But when you make them feel homely with all the things that DPS provide, that can go a long way helping them feel settled.
Yeah.
Yeah, another thing that, oh, sorry, you wanna go?
No, go on.
No, it's just like, you're going to feel homesick. Like, this is something that is going to happen. Probably your friend, somebody that is sitting next to you is feeling the same way. I think talking like how you feel, also like connect to the person that way is also important, like how you're feeling. Are you missing home? How is that for you? And I don't know, but for me, I have that a lot. I made a friend in the first year, and we will talk about our families and how things were back home. Like, and I think this connection first, you connect to something here in Ireland, so you make a new friend, and you also put it out a little bit. So definitely it helps, you know. And exactly what Godwin say, like, find something that you like to do, find friends that like to do the same thing, put yourself out there. So you're not going to be sitting at home thinking about how much better it was before, you know, because before you have like that space that you are safe, basically. Let's say you're next to your parents, you're in your house, you don't have to worry about much. So you're living this new experience, so you're far from your parents, you have to organize yourself. So just do that, just leave that, you know, like it's part of life anyway. So leave that as much as you can, because that's also important, that's also enjoyable. I think that's something that we have to remember. It's not something always hard. No, it's good, it's enjoyable. I know that it's hard, but it's part of life. I think something that I think all the time.
Yeah, I definitely agree to everything that's been said. But I think also sometimes the only thing that really helps is just like call your family and talk to them, or call your friends and talk to them. And I mean, we live in the 21st century, so it wouldn't be a problem. Like, you can just do a quick WhatsApp video call, or like Skype. I don't think anybody uses Skype nowadays, but like FaceTime or anything basically. Like, I even had a Zoom meeting with my friends yesterday, and one of them was back home in Germany and the other one is studying in London, and I'm here in Dublin. So you can talk to anyone around the world. But also, as Godwin said, like sometimes, or for me personally, I feel less homesick when I'm more engaged with the events and stuff, like when I meet more people here. But also sometimes you just need something that reminds you of home. So just like listen to music from where you come from, or just cook something like a national dish or anything. Like, maybe the best thing would be to reflect what you need in this specific situation. Like maybe you just need to really talk to someone from where you come from, or you just need to listen to music, or like do other stuff and like meet people from other countries. So yeah.
I think it is important to always throw yourself into college as much as you can. I have lived in Ireland for most of my life, so I don't quite have that same problem of homesickness anymore, but I did when I was younger. And I just remember the more I threw myself into different activities, meeting new people, really going into the deep end and not holding myself back from things was always a great way to distract myself, but also to get to know new people. That's so important with your college experience, is meeting new people. So I think that was all really good advice, because we do have a lot of students from all over the world in this country. So it's important to remember that. And just in terms of continuing this conversation, I think it's important just to give general tips for first year. So not necessarily to do with homesickness or anything, but in terms of maybe assignments, preparing for exams, making a schedule for yourself. Do any of you guys have tips for that? Because that's also super important, especially in your first year, kind of preparing you to go into your final year and knowing what you're doing and staying motivated, pretty much.
Can I just say one last thing regarding homesickness? I think you could basically think of the best cure kind of is to make Dublin and DBS your second home kind of, and you can do that by just going to the events and talking to people and getting to know new people, because of course you're going to feel homesick if you don't know anybody here. You're not just missing like your environment, but also having friends. But the more you engage in activities and stuff, the more people you get to know, and then you will have like it will really become your second home kind of.
Definitely.
I think, Samuel, if I want to contribute to what you said there about pressure on studying, assignment, exams. I mean, today I got a text from a classmate that am I open on Monday to come and study in the library together? I mean, the first year students this year, they are very lucky when compared to students from last year, the first one, because the library wasn't fully operational last year. So it was difficult to have that study group together where you can book a room, study room, and 3, 4, 5 of you together and brainstorming and you get the book. It's not only one day you put it back straight away. I mean, you continue to engage together as a team. It brings a lot of ideas, and then the pressure is a little bit lifted because someone says some things that you can now go home and work on and enlarge on it, and you can create a project on that. So I know you can do that online as well. I mean, you can create a virtual studying room, but the fact that you're with people and that gives a kind of a social atmosphere that you feel happy about, and you can have an additional plan after the study, like, you know, to go somewhere and have a good evening, you know?
It's also good just to have somebody by your side who can be a bit of a motivation for you to get work done. I know you shouldn't rely on other people, but sometimes you do get into that where you're friends with people, you kind of check in, how far along are you with this? And it kind of motivates you to keep going. So I think what you said is completely valid. That makes a lot of sense. It's good to have friends within your course just to stay on top of things, keep motivated, and it makes you want to come in. If you have friends to go to and talk to, it's always great to pop into college or even over a Zoom call, whatever you can do. Just to stay on top of college work, it's good to have friends who are in the same boat as you.
Yeah, and I think doesn't even have to be from the same course as you are. Two of like my best friends from college now, we became friends in college, and we became like way more than that now. I think the three of us are doing 3 different courses. So anyways, we would sit down together, each one with our like headphones, and we'll be studying together all the time as much as we could. Like the last year we did that because we live nearby. And now we keep doing this like which one of us is sitting in a different room, but like we are together and checking how are you doing. There's much to go, and like when you're just like, I don't think I can do this, yes you can, like you just go, you know, or even just have discussions around the topic we're going to do. So it's possible to do it with people from different courses in a way. So I think like just get engaged with other people.
Yeah, I think even to add on what you just said, like sometimes when you're stuck on a topic, it helps to kind of explain it to someone else. They don't even have to understand it, but then you can, like, you will notice if you really understand it, or you will just see where your problem is, like at what point you don't understand it anymore. And what I would say is really important is to know what's available and what's going on. So which resources are available and what's going on in the college. So what helped me last year was, I know the emails are a bit long, the what's going on next week emails, but they really contain a lot of valuable information. So I would definitely read them just so you know what's going on, especially next week. For example, the library offers a lot of classes. And I think like I've been to most of the library classes within my first few weeks in DBS. And they really helped me to know what to expect from the assignments and what, like how to ace the assignments. And yeah, that's just my tips. Like use the resources available to you, but also know which resources are available to you. And I know like there are so many resources, so it's a bit difficult to know about all of them, but maybe just take like 30 minutes of your time, or when you're on a bus or whatever, and just like kind of look at the library website or the student website and see what DBS has to offer, kind of.
Definitely, 100%. And as mentioned before, it's really important to know how to use the Moodle page, because everybody at the start of their course, they have their CA schedule. So you can plan out when to do your assignments, when to start studying for exams. If you take a look at your Moodle page and take a look at the due dates for each continuous assessment, that is a really important tip, just so that you're prepared for the year and you're not caught off guard if you have an assignment due the next weekend. It's really important to plan that out. Maybe get a diary. I myself use a diary all the time. I write down everything in it. Or you can use the calendar on your phone. Everybody's got a phone. You can use the calendars on your computer. Any way you can do that to stay organized and on top of everything. If you get into that habit in first year, you'll be fine through the rest of your years in college and so forth, I think.
Yeah, and DBS even offers an assignment planner, which you can find on the Moodle page and also on the library website, where you just put in your due date and when you would want to start the assignment, and you can even set up to get emails that remind you, like, by now you should have your research done and start writing, for example. So I think the assignment planner is a great tool for first year students, because you're new to college level assignments and they really help you to have a plan.
Definitely.
And to change gear a little bit, let's not forget that college is all about fun. It's fun. You're young, you're beautiful, you're full of life. It's not just learning. It's good to be motivated to go on that road. We strongly recommend to do your tasks, do your dues, do your whatever. But it's fun. Don't forget to have fun. So you can, to answer your question about the homesick, by having fun, you can connect with your diaspora. You can, if you're religious, you can go to your church. If you're not religious, Dublin has always a piece of your land, restaurants, something that you can enjoy, a good dish that can soothe you a little bit, soothe your social pain a little bit. So fun is important, but the greatest advice for a lot of people, as I know the parties are going wild, and try not to drink before exams. From the psychology students here strongly recommend to take care of your neurons, save them until after the exam, and then if you can behave and don't drink after the exams, good.
That's a
Yeah. I
So
would
you're going to
I
do yourself a favor. You're going to thank us later.
Now, I would agree with Adrian. I think it's important to maintain that balance as focus on your assignments, but don't get to a point where you burn out, where you're so focused on the assignment that you can't do it anymore. And I think I personally was getting that way in my first semester, where I was just like, okay, assignments. But I was like, no, I have to give myself this time out, and I have to meet people, and I have to interact with people, or else I'm going to get to a point where I can't do this anymore. I actually get to a point where I would have just stopped working on all the assignments.
Yeah, I just
So
want
I
to
think
top
it's
up that.
important to balance it out.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Afshan.
No, go ahead. Yeah,
I just want to top up, like the first year, it's very important for every first year to connect if they feel any pressure and need to communicate. The first year is the most stressful year for students. It's the highest percentage of stress, suicide ideation, and all problems. So it's important for you to connect with people. If you feel that you start to overburn, or if you start that you cannot cope with tasks, if you feel that you cannot connect with people and you get into trouble, do not try to be a hero. Try to say something to somebody you trust, your friend, your mentor, your teacher. There are services within DBS that they can help. There are emergency services around. We are here to help. So every time, anytime you need a hand, just to get to us.
I have to give this recommendation because in the first year there was a seminar in Dublin Business School, something with humanitarian intervention, why we turn away and why we help. It was there was different speaker brought in from Trinity and different college. I was just a first year student and I actually did attend. And I was a very lover of politics, especially international politics. And I cannot forget, I did ask the questions. And the speaker I asked the questions now turned out to be my fourth year lecturer. And I remember after the seminar, there was a little wine and cake in one of the rooms there in the fourth floor in the building. It was an experience I can never forget. And the first time he came into the classroom, this last month, September, the first class we had in September 20 this year, he was teaching contemporary social policy. And I said, I've seen you before. You gave a seminar somewhere. And he said, I can't remember. And I did explain. And he could not understand why I was a first year student and came to such an event, because you will expect people that are further advanced in their years to come to such event. But because it was a way of getting connected to people, a way of meeting people that you might end up meeting later in the academic life. And also we kind of move into a world where employment have become a little bit more connected to networking. So it has to be late to start these connections. It can start from now, and then you get to know important people that can shape your life in the long run.
Sure.
Yeah, and I think it's also always important, like in any aspect of life, really, but especially in college, to find what works for you and what feels good. So maybe there's like a student that you look up to in your class who has like all first class grades, and like it isn't necessarily the best idea to copy their learning style, because maybe it's not for you, maybe it won't work for you. So just like try different things and see what works, what feels good, what you're comfortable with. Like, or maybe like some people love learning in a group and helping each other, but other people feel more comfortable or learn better when they're on their own. So just find what feels good and what works for you. And also in social situations, like maybe there are events that you like. For example, maybe you like hikes but don't like other kinds of events, or maybe it's the other way around. So just do what you like. And yeah.
Well, thank you guys. I think this was a good first session. I just want to remind students that we run our PAL sessions every Tuesday and Thursday. The first session is from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. and we have the next session from 5 to 6 p.m. on those days. So if you ever have any questions or you need any advice, do feel free to pop into those PAL sessions. The link is on the Peer Mentor, the DBS Peer Mentor Instagram page. I don't know if that's focusing at all. There we go, kind of. So give us a follow there. We give updates there. And I do think that we will be uploading this podcast at least onto the Instagram page. But we will be doing an audio recording of this on Spotify very soon that you can go follow, hopefully in the future. But every week we're planning on having different peer mentors join these podcasts. And hopefully some of you guys will be back as well. Feel free to pop in anytime you want to.
Sure.
But we'll be covering different topics each week. This week was more of an introduction to what we're doing. But in the following weeks, we might be talking about the resources within the college and the library that you can use, different things to do with stress around exams, many different other topics that we will be covering each week. So do feel free to give us a listen whenever we upload these podcasts. And again, like I said, do pop into the PAL sessions. I found them useful when I was in my first year. I'm sure a bunch of these guys did as well. And just to socialize, if you feel a bit lost in school, we're here to talk. We're in college as well. We're students too. We're happy to talk to you. So do pop by. But thanks, guys. We'll see everybody next week for the next podcast. But thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.